Hello, thank you for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to lead you through chair yoga. We are going to practice chair yoga for 30 minutes today. Just a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretch doesn't work for you, just skip it, meet us in the next one. And the things that you'll need for chair yoga today is you'll just need a chair. So a chair at your work desk is perfect. If you have a folding chair or a chair like mine that doesn't have arms, that works as well. So just a chair that you feel nice and comfy in. So today, as we go through chair yoga, I was thinking about working, the full body today. We can hit all of those areas that can be a common complaint throughout the workday. So we can do a little release on our neck, shoulders, wrists, upper and low back, and then work a little bit with the legs as well, because I know they can get a little fatigued through the workday. The best thing about this class is all of the stretches that we're going to work with today, you can easily weave them into your workday any day. So say you're at the computer for a bit too long and you're feeling very fatigued or you're having a lot of discomfort in your body, just think back to some of the stretches that we do today. And I'm sure that will help you feel a lot better. And, sometimes we think we have to carve out half an hour to do a class, but even if you just have, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, that can offer a lot of release to the body. So as we start today, let's go to the edge of your seat, and that will help you to elongate your spine and to engage your core. We can take a moment here just to close the eyes. So we'll start our time together with a little centering, and this will be a wonderful opportunity to drop into the practice. And as we settle here, we will just feel that our heels are in line with our knees are in line with our hips, and feel that the shoulders are over the hips. We just don't want to be leaning forward or back too much. And we'll feel the core engage here. So tailbone tucks, navel back and up to the spine a little bit. Create that long line that flows through the spine, lengthen the back of the neck, reach and stretch through the crown of the head. And we'll take a moment to drop into the breath. So observing the rise and the fall of the breath. And then for a moment, simply watch the breath flow in and flow out through the nose. And try to lengthen your breath as you inhale. Lengthen your breath as you exhale. Set an intention for your practice today, and your intention could be anything. It might be that you are holding tension in a particular area and you want to release it. It could be that you want to take a little time to relax. Life is feeling a bit stressful. So this might be your time for yourself, your self-care practice. So there's no right and there is no wrong intention. It's whatever you want it to be. Let's take a moment here to work with our neck. We'll bring our right hand up and over. Reach for the left side of the neck. We're going to take that right hand and then gently soften your right ear to the right shoulder. So I saw the comment in the chat there about not being able to see me full size. So if you click on the 3 little dots in the upper right, maybe it's on your screen as well. That's how it is on mine. If you just hit pin, I think that will probably put me in the full screen there. And we will release. So we're going to lower that right hand down, left hand up and over. Reach for the right side of the head. Nice full breath here to lengthen, and left ear to left shoulder as you exhale. And not trying to move with force on this one. It's just a nice gentle suggestion, ear to the shoulder. And back to center. We'll realign here. Take your right hand up and over once again. This time, let's gaze to the underarm area. And then we're just going to gently encourage the head down just a little bit. So the head's at a little bit of an angle this time. Maybe noticing if the stretch feels very similar. It could feel very different one side to the next side. We'll come back to center. Let's realign here. Left hand up and over. Gaze to the underarm on the left side, and then soften the head down a little bit. And release. We will realign here. And imagine that there was a clock in front of you and you want to run your nose through the numbers of the clock. So we're just going to work a nice gentle rotation of the neck. Circle in the other direction. So just reverse that movement. And release. Let's take that back to neutral. Bring your hands on up to the sky. Take your right hand for your left wrist and draw your hands off towards the right. And almost imagine that you could kind of pull the hand to the right. Give yourself more of a stretch. Come back to center. Let's realign here. Change up the grip in the hands. Nice full breath here to lengthen. And release to the left. And left shoulder rolls under, right shoulder rolls open. And release. Let's put ourselves back on through to neutral. Hands can come into the heart space in prayer. Drop your chin to your chest, and then as you do this, begin to kind of fish the hands forward. So we're going to take those fingertips, point them forward. Now we're trying to round our back here, opening up the hands to the sides of the room, and then opening up the chest and the heart. So try to create a back bend here. Let's take chin to chest, fish the hands forward, round your back. Heart floats forward, shoulders relax. And float here with the breath. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. Lengthen your spine as you exhale. As you inhale, feel the shoulders relax away from the ears. So create a little space here between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. On the exhale, round your back. So imagine creating space between the shoulder blades. Coming into a neutral spine here, take your hands to the sky, full breath in. Release to the right, exhale, seated spinal twist. I love doing this one in a chair because if you can grab the back of your chair, you can almost pull yourself into a twist a little bit more. So give yourself a bit of a deeper twist. And release. Let's float ourselves back to neutral. Nice full breath here to lengthen. And release to the left. Maybe gazing off your left shoulder and just noticing if that helps you move a little bit deeper into the twist. And back to center. Let's realign here. Take your hands to the sky, full breath in, hands at the heart, full breath out. Take a nice full breath here to lengthen and hinge at the hips and fold forward. So we're just going to gently rest our stomach and our chest down on the tops of the legs. And you can also relax your hands down. If you wanted to, you could reach for opposite elbows underneath your body. This is a variation of a pose called ragdoll. And just trying to let yourself melt here. And maybe feeling a little bit of...
I can't hear you.
Oh, really? I'll check on that.
No, I can hear you very well.
Oh, you can hear me?
Me
Yes.
too, yeah.
Very
Okay.
clear.
Okay, thank you. And then we are going to come back on up to a neutral spine here. And let's bring our shoulders up to the ears. So we'll create a nice large circle. Take the shoulders up, back, and down. Full breath in, shoulders up, back, and down. And then one more time. Let's inhale and exhale. And it sounds like someone may be off of mute. So if you wouldn't mind muting yourself. We're going to take our right knee to our chest. So for this one, if you need to, you can scoot towards the edge of your seat. Fingers will interlock, reach for the front of the knee. And then let's begin to circle that knee. So we will just find a little bit of movement here. And we'll just work a nice little flow here for the legs and for the hips. And let's begin to circle in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement. And if you need to, again, scooting towards the edge of the seat can make this one a little bit more accessible. Take your knee to your chest, so fingers will interlock, and then pull that knee in. So we're trying to pull that knee right into the stomach and right into the chest. And really try to use that arm strength, really use that shoulder strength to draw it in. And gently releasing this one and taking your right knee to the underarm area. So this time we'll try to avoid our stomach and our rib cage. And this will give us just a little different stretch in our hips and also really good for your low back as well. Good. Let's begin to release that one. We're going to take our right leg up and over. So we're just crossing the legs and feel free to lift yourself up and even off the hips. We can lean to one side or the other a little bit here on this one. Take a nice full breath to lengthen. Let's give ourselves that fold forward on exhale. Hands can relax down. And then if you wanted to, you could reach for opposite arms here. So you might not be able to reach the elbows, but maybe reach for the forearms. And we'll just give ourselves this fold. So the folds are nice. They're not always, the most comfortable, especially if you don't do them that often seated. But it is good because we give a little bit of pressure to the organs and the digestive system, which typically in everyday life, if you're not doing yoga, we don't usually do that. So it is really good and can have lots of positive benefits. It's almost like a little massage for the organs, which is a good thing. And we're going to come on up. Flow through the spine, right foot plants, and left knee comes on up. Let's interlock fingers, scoot to the edge of the seat if needed. Take your knee to your chest and circle. And reverse, circle in the other direction. And then as you come to stillness here, let's pull that knee into the chest and into the stomach. So fingers interlock, try to relax your shoulders back and down. And try to avoid your stomach and avoid your rib cage. Try to pull the knee into the underarm area. We call this one Padamuttasana. So it's a seated Padamuttasana. We have standing one and also reclining. And release. Let's take our left leg up and over. So crossing the legs. Lift the hips up to align here. Nice full breath to lengthen and give yourself that fold down as you exhale. Hands relax down. Maybe reach for opposite arms. And try to relax your head as best as you can. So it's very easy to hold tension in the head and the neck. So try to relax the head with each exhale. And then floating yourself on up. Let's take a neutral spine here. Feet come out nice and wide. Scoot to the edge of your seat. Grab onto the sides of your seat. Shift your knees to the right and shift your knees to the left. Good. Let's try out warriors in the seat. So on these, again, the more you're scooted to the edge of the seat, probably the more comfortable it's going to be. So as you windshield wipe your knees, let's drop our knees off towards the left. And first, as we begin, we are going to encourage 90-degree angle on the legs. So try to have your heel in line with knee in line with hip. Same thing with this leg. And this one, you can have your toes curled under, and you can also try to have the top of your foot down on the ground. That would just kind of depend what kind of shoes you have on, or if you're barefoot. Hold onto your chair if you'd like. And if you would like more of a stretch, bring your hands up to the sky. So this is called a knee down warrior Anjaneyasana. This one brings lots of benefits. It's really good for stretching out your quad and your hip flexor and your psoas. Those muscles tend to shorten when we're sitting throughout the day, so it's really good to give them a nice little stretch here. And release. Let's begin to straighten the leg behind us. So you are just going to come right up onto your toes, have your heel lifted. And for alignment on this one, don't think that you have to have your heel in line with your hip. Feel free to have that leg at an angle. That'll be a bit gentler on your knee. So maybe it's angled off to the side, maybe even where the corner of the room is. And hands can come up. Let's breathe here. So this one is great. It's just going to deepen the stretches we were experiencing in the knee down warrior. So good for your quad, hip flexor, and psoas. And then we can also add in a little bit of a calf stretch and a hamstring stretch on this one as well. Warrior one. So very similar with this back foot, but now we can plant our foot down. So you're going to have your heel grounded down and then your back foot at a 45-degree angle. And alignment's a little different than if you're on your yoga mat. So feel free to have this right leg off to the right as much as you need it. Again, we always want to have our knee in mind. We don't want to be putting too much pressure on the knee. So have your knee and your toes moving in the same direction. Hands can sweep to the sky. We have this little joking saying in yoga, you can mess with the gods, but you can't mess with your knees. So it always really shows you that in yoga poses, we always want to be mindful of our knees. We don't want to have any pulling or stretching or anything like that. Good. Now open up to warrior two from here. So we're going to take those arms out into a T position. And legs may stay in very similar position. And you can even take that right foot and glide it to the right even more. Our alignment is going to be to try to square our hips and our shoulders off to the right. Hands reach forward and back. This one, Virabhadrasana Dvi. Try to relax your shoulders from the ears. Something that's very common is to have the shoulders coming up to the ears. We're going to try to relax those shoulders with each exhale. Reverse. So almost imagine from our hips down, we were in concrete. So hips aren't going to move. It's just going to be a little movement of our spine and that front hand. So try to feel that your palm is facing towards the back of the room or down towards the ground. And just breathe here, get that nice stretch. Core engages. Let's take ourselves back to neutral. And we'll bring our left arm to left leg. So this one is a lateral angle. And staying here, maybe draw your hand down to the ground for a little bit more stretch. Try not to collapse into the bottom shoulder. Create a little lift here and a little bit of lengthening here. Core engages. Let's rise on up. And windshield wipe the legs to reset. So feet nice and wide. Drop to the right and drop to the left. Great. Dropping your knees off to the right. Let's take our knee down warrior on the right side. So this one is where we work those 90-degree angles. Hold onto your chair. Maybe take your hands to the sky. So on this one, sometimes our torso comes forward and our hands come forward. Try to bring your shoulders over your hips and feel that your palms are facing one another. So let your arms be very active, engaged, and energized here. We can bring ourselves into crescent from here. So straighten out your back leg. Again, let those right toes or left toes rather, let your left foot move to the left if you need to. Feel yourself connect with your breath. Feel yourself breathe in and breathe out through your nose. Warrior one. We'll bring our left foot down, left foot at that angle so that toes are aiming towards the corner of the room. Hands to the sky, breathe in. And maybe in your own body, just noticing where you feel the stretch. So we all experience each pose so differently. Maybe feeling the stretch in the backs of your legs, maybe in the low back, maybe through the shoulders. Warrior two on exhale, let's open it up. So float that left foot to the left if needed. Try to square your hips and your shoulders off to the left side of the room. And we'll breathe here. So warrior two is great. This one is going to be a really nice hip opener. We can get a nice stretch for those inner leg muscles. Really good for our low back as well. And we're working our shoulders as our hands are reaching forward and back. Let's take reverse, float it up and float it back. So backhand can glide down the back leg. Maybe wrap your arm around your low back. Reach for the other hip crease. Take a half bind here. Rise on up. Warrior two. Lateral angle. And extended lateral angle. You can lower your hand down to the ground for a little bit more stretch here. Engage your core. Let's bring it back on up and reset to warrior two. Doing a relaxation on those hands, grabbing your chair and draw your knees to the left and draw your knees to the right. I always love that little flow in the chair. Just so it shows how versatile yoga is, that you can do yoga using so many different props, and then just showing you all the cool things you can do with the chair. So I love that little flow. Let's come on up to stand. And as we come on up to stand, we are going to use our chair. We'll try a little bit of balancing here. So since we were working with those warriors and it was so good and opening for those quads, we can continue that. So let's come to the right side of the chair. Try to bring your left knee onto the chair. We are going to work with a quad stretch, so you can begin to reach back for your foot. Now, if this is feeling easy, you may want to step away from your chair so that you can challenge the balance a little bit more. And we'll just hold this one for a moment. So our quads tend to shorten when we are sitting through the day, whether that's at our desk or driving or on the couch. And when our quads shorten and our hamstrings lengthen, it creates a little bit of an imbalance in the body. So that's why yoga is so good for your body, because it really helps to create more balance, and it helps to, reduce injuries, prevent injuries, and just keep us pain-free, which is a really good thing. Let's try that on the other side. So we're going to come to the left side of the chair. You can take our right knee on the chair if you need to. And then if you're feeling like you don't need the support of the chair, you can step away from the chair. And if this is feeling easy and you're feeling like the balance is pretty strong, you can deepen it a little bit. So what you would imagine doing is taking your right knee, and it's not obviously going to touch the ground, but create a sensation like you could draw your knee, the top of your knee right here, right down to the ground. And then it's also a slight sensation of kicking the foot into the hand just to activate the leg a little bit more, and you might feel your quad work a little bit more here. Good. Let's release that foot down, and we will build on that. So we'll try a full dancer pose, not a Rajasana. And the nice thing with dancer is if this one isn't going to work for you, just do the stretch that we just did. It's very accessible. You can just have your knee on that chair. So right hand can come up to the top of your chair. You're going to be facing in towards the seat this time. Your left hand for your left foot. So if you grab on the outside of your foot, that's a gentler stretch on your shoulder. But if you grab on the inside of your foot, that's more of a shoulder stretch. So let's begin to kick the foot into the hand. And if you have a chair that has wheels, this probably wouldn't work for you. But if you have a chair that's like mine that doesn't have wheels, or you have a folding chair, a nice option that gives you a little more stretch would be to press your chair away from you and then have the front legs of the chair lift up. And this will give you this opportunity to reach and stretch in the opposite directions. Good. So you can take your chair down. You can take your left foot to meet your right foot. And then we'll take our right hand for right foot, left hand to the chair for support. And breathing here. So here we go. Let's begin to get the foot into the hand. And if you had a chair that would work, you can try to lift those front legs up. Dancer has so many positive benefits. It's great for strengthening your standing legs. So we strengthen all of the muscles through the foot, through the ankle, and through the knee. We get a wonderful back bend through the 3 parts of our back. We get a great quad stretch, hip flexor and psoas stretch. And we also get a nice shoulder stretch as well. Chair relaxes down. Right foot meets your left foot. Feet wider than your hips. Bring arms side to side. Let's take ourselves into empty coat sleeves. Good. Let's bring ourselves back on through to neutral. Hands to the sky. Nice full breath in. Reach for opposite elbows here. Shift to the right and to the left. So we'll just do a nice little wiggle here in the waist. This is really good for our spine, helping us to create more lateral flexibility in the spine. Pausing, release to the left. Feel the right hip press to the right. Left shoulder under, right shoulder open. Come back to center. Full breath to lengthen. Release off towards the right. And then breathe so deeply here. Almost imagine that you could create a little bit of space in between the ribs. Bring yourself back to center. Release your hands behind your body. Yoga mudra here. So for this one, what we will do is we will interlock the fingers. You can square your wrists. That will make it easier. You could also take your palms to touch. Imagine squeezing a pencil between the shoulder blades, and then option to stand up or fold forward if you'd like. Arms can run along your back. You can also release your arms away from your back body. Maybe gaze to the wall that's behind you. Maybe take your gaze to the ceiling up behind your body. Hands can relax into your low back. Hands can float down towards the ground and then come on up to stand. Flow through the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. Let's take 3 shoulder rolls here. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Good. Let's bring ourselves back into a comfortable seated position. Scoot to the edge of your seat. Take that time to line up your body, 90-degree angle in the legs. Let's take 3 shoulder rolls here. Breathe in and out. Good. Letting your shoulders relax and take a moment to close your eyes. And as we close our time together here, we'll just take a moment to just focus on the breath. Watch the breath flow in and out through your nose. Feel the nostrils flaring on your in-breath. Feel the nostrils contracting on the out-breath. Maybe notice the temperature of the air as it flows in through your nose, and then notice the temperature of the air as it flows out through your nose. Notice how you feel. Observe your mind and your body in the moment. Feel your mind relaxed, calm, at ease. Feel your body aligned and balanced. If you came to class with tension, just feeling how that has released with breath and movement. Letting the eyes open when you're ready. Thank you for joining today. It's great to be here. I hope everyone's feeling better. Have a lovely day today, and I look forward to seeing you next class. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.